what occurred and the reason I was not live. Any guesses why I wasn't live? Any guesses? You trading NQ? Yes, I will be. Caught me cheating again. Oh, what the fuck? Will we be taking a trade or just a class? I'll be taking a trade. I mean, if there's something. Again, guys, like I don't necessarily come in here. Like obviously I come in here expecting to take a trade only if I get presented something of value, something of quality, right? I'm already seeing right now, I like sells. I do. We have a nice little wick of this high. Yes, we have been just bullish, but nonetheless, we're starting to flip internally bearish. I'm not even live yet. Hold on. Chris, caught me cheating on him with you yet. All right. There's the live. There's the video. Sorry, I'm looking a little rough right now. But again, I wasn't live for power hours. Sorry, guys. I got home late. And for some reason, Apple iPhone is just, the alarms have not been going off. Like, I'm not even trying to cap, and just like, it actually has been a genuine problem. What's up, Doris? So again, I think sales can occur here, right? We're definitely within this bearish trend where I do think price can continue to come lower and lower. I'm asking for the 6:45 session. What do you mean? Like tomorrow in the morning? Yeah, bro, I see that on my phone. Dude, Dave, you don't understand. It's been like the last week where I will wake up, alarms not going off. An hour later, my alarms for, like, let's say I wake up at 10. My alarms at 6 a.m. are going off at 10. What the fuck? I can actually back that. Exactly. It's been rough. I think it's your do not disturb. Changing that helped me. I mean, it's usually off. My ringer's on, you know, like everything's good. It's just, it's not going off. But NQ, I'm thinking sells, guys. Like I've been wanting sells. Obviously, if we're going to continue higher, we're going to continue higher. But nonetheless, we haven't even facilitated a pullback of this internal range. If price does happen to, let's say, break these highs, okay, maybe we'll flip bias and just continue to ride price. But we've been bullish for so long. And obviously, it's NASDAQ. It's an index. You know, we can ultimately expect price to continue pumping. But nonetheless, we will have these pullbacks. For Chris session, will he be trading or just an educator? No, he'll be trading for Chris's session. But let's go to DAX now. So DAX, we didn't end up taking no trades last night. Let's see. I think I was expecting sells last night, to be honest with you guys. This was old. All right, let's just delete everything. That's old. So I was expecting some sells. We ended up buying up higher, kind of trending up here, finally breaking these highs, which is actually a good thing. I'm still going to be obviously more leaning towards a pullback than anything, but nonetheless, price is bullish. We'll see what continues to happen. I think we're trending pretty nicely within this internal trend here. If we get, now that we're kind of flipping here, obviously we had a bullish push, we had a pullback, and they're looking like we're going to continue higher. But again, I don't just take a break of any high. If I were to take some buys, it would be, at this point, I would wait for a break of 50 or a tap at 50% and then a re-break of those highs. But nonetheless, like, again, like I have a long-term bullish bias, guys, just based off price here, right? We had to break lower. We finally broke these highs here. We can obviously continue higher, but nonetheless, we could have more of an overextended pullback. Can you guys hear that fucking car outside? Hopefully you guys can't. But UK 100, I can probably expect the same thing, kind of see the same thing. We've been bullish for a while. We've been breaking some highs. Yes, we definitely can continue bullish, but nonetheless, especially like within this hourly leg, let's clear all this. Especially within this hourly leg, we definitely can. But one thing I'm noticing is, like, yes, we had this bullish leg. We had a pullback, and it looks like we were going to continue higher. But nonetheless, something you guys have to remember is ultimately like being able to identify internal price action. So the internal price action, so this is our swing structure. Okay, we could say that this hourly bullish candles are swing structure, right? So we have the internal price action that started to shift lower, and this was the cause of the overall pullback. But what do we notice? We're still actually bearish within this internal structure. So therefore, that doesn't mean I'm not necessarily comfortable with buys, because from a higher time frame standpoint, we completed the pullback and we should end up taking these highs. But I'd rather ultimately wait for a break of this high to confirm that not only the swing structure is bullish, which we already know, but the internal structure is now also bullish, aligning with the overall, analysis or bias that we can expect price to go higher. But obviously there's some time for that. Okay. We can ultimately continue lower. And the reason I could say that is because, one, we're internally bearish still. We're kind of holding at these highs for some reason. That could be an early sign that price wants to come lower and ultimately fill a lot more imbalance, because that's a big thing too. Like, price doesn't necessarily have to fill this imbalance, but a lot of times it will fill this imbalance and it will have deeper pullbacks. But ultimately what's going to tell us that today is, well, obviously today and tomorrow. I say that price, obviously within this range, it is still bullish within this internal range of this lower time frame leg. Again, this is where multi-time frame analysis comes into play, because if you don't understand multi-time frame analysis in the sense of, yes, I was just talking about how we were within this swing bullish leg from an hourly standpoint, this was our internal trend from an hourly standpoint. But as we go down to the 30-minute, we can kind of start to see, okay, now that we're looking at the internal trend, this is our from a 30-minute or a 15-minute standpoint, this is our swing leg that we're playing within. As you can see, we're trading within that overall bearish leg. And until we either break higher or show signs of lower prices, I'd probably kind of wait. Even though buys do look good here, if we were playing this leg here, we could potentially expect price to continue higher. Yes, especially if we go down to a lower time frame, maybe we see something of value, and maybe I do take something. But nonetheless, again, like, I have to really think about the overall higher time frame alignment and the probability behind things, as far as understanding that price 100% can go higher. But until we break these highs, nothing says that it is for sure going to go higher. If we break these highs, I can 100% guarantee that we're probably going to have a pullback and then continue higher. But nonetheless, since we're still kind of ranging within this area and still not clearly showing that we want to go any higher, something tells me that we could see a deeper sell-off for some reason. And I wouldn't want it to be too impulsive and get into buys, assuming that we can go higher. Again, it's about probabilities here, right? And the probabilities still kind of lean towards sells. Ultimately, what I'm kind of taking from DAX and UK 100 today, it may be a no trade day, but nonetheless, of course, we're still going to be trading NQ. I think we'll have a setup in NQ. Okay, again, like, we're very overextended. We're going to have some type of sell-off at some point. It may not be drastic, but I do think we will have some type of pullback. So as we can see, we're on the 5-minute here, and we see clear bearish trend. Okay, so as long as we can see something maybe within the 1 minute, where from, it sucks that this is like the high that we'd have to play off of. See, that's just ugly. That wick is ugly as fuck. Ugly. Well, one thing I notice is within this 1 minute, we kind of start seeing this bullish internal structure. Maybe if we continue to break and make new highs, we could take buys. Ultimately, those buys could be at a little bit more risk, because again, we are overall bearish as far as like a 5-minute swing or from a 5-minute swing point. You get what I'm saying. So we could take a loss here if we end up looking for buys, but nonetheless, if we end up flipping bearish, I could end up taking the sells. I'm fine taking a first loss. Again, you guys know that we can take a loss and still end up winning the next trade and still making profits on the day. Obviously, that's not the overall goal. Like, I don't want to have to lose, but nonetheless, if it happens, it happens. Granted, we'll see how price plays and we'll see what it gives us. But nonetheless, we really have nothing to kind of use our checklist for. Again, if you guys don't know, I've been using this checklist. I've actually built this checklist, not just for me, but for you guys, and overall figuring out what the highest probability trades are. So obviously, if they're checked off, the trade score goes down to 60%. But if you have all your confluences checked, then obviously it's a 100% probability score. And a 100% probability score doesn't mean, and I know this, you guys should know this, just because you have a high probability trade doesn't mean you're always going to win. It's not a guaranteed win, but it's just a higher chance of winning due to the fact that you have all your confluences, or at least more confluences, aligned with your overall bias. Okay, so that's beautiful. And then again, if we do see a trade, if you guys don't know, again, there's also a position sizing in here. I know a lot of you guys struggle with this. I don't want to say I don't know why. I struggled with this too at the beginning. But again, like, we'll be able to use this if we want to risk, let's say, I usually risk 300. We'll say 400. If it's a 30-point stop, as you can see, it says 16 contracts right now. But if we change the risk amount, it changes to 6 contracts. So it's a beautiful way to kind of calculate our futures contract sizing. Even Forex, you guys can switch it to Forex too if you guys wanted to. You can switch to Forex. Obviously, you would ignore M and Q. Let's say we're trading GU. We want to risk 400, 30-point stop, and you can see it changes to lots instead of contracts, and it tells you 1.33 lots would be your risk size for Forex if we were trading Forex when it came to NQ. So, I mean, or at least GU. We can actually, this is all Forex first, but you guys get the gist. But minis, yeah, in this case, like, you can do minis too. So in minis case, because it'd be 0, because at that point I believe it's just too low of a risk. But if we'd risk 1,000, it'd go up to 1 contract. Again, this is still in the works as far as being perfect for you guys. I can't wait for this to be out. Can't wait for a lot of you guys to start using it, just because again, it's going to help you calculate. It's just a little bit fast. It's there. It's literally on your screen. You don't have to leave TradingView. A lot of you guys end up leaving TradingView and going to a pip calculator or contracts calculator when you could just realistically just do it from an indicator, and it gives you the same exact thing. And then again, probabilities. All right, I love probabilities. You guys know that. But nonetheless, today's not looking the best, obviously, until we see something. And I think NQ is definitely where we're going to see something. I hope, at least. But nonetheless, like, I would have to wait for a break of this low for me to even consider sells at this point. If we were to break higher, like let's say we do continue within this internal bullish trend, obviously we could come down, hit equilibrium, expand higher, and then okay, from there we could play the next leg higher. I'm fine with that. I'll do that. If price is still going to continuously show that we want to go bullish within this bearish leg here, but nonetheless, like, I just have a feeling that we are going to go bearish. I really do. But again, I'm not always correct. Okay. But if price shows me something else, it shows me something else. We'll execute. We'll play off of it. What's up, YouTube? But again, if you guys haven't yet, if you don't have an account, guys, go get an account. If you're watching these lives and you're not trading with us, even if it's me, Chris, Mark, Luca, go get a fucking account. Use code Nick. Don't be stupid. Get a discount, because you get a nice little discount with code Nick. I made sure it's a really good discount for you guys, so go use that. It's cheap, and legacy is the best. And I don't even say that from a biased standpoint. Like, generally speaking, we have some of the best rules. Go look at Apex rules. Go look at Apex and tell me we have shit rules. I dare you. Can you guys hear background audio? I have family over right now. We are watching a movie, and it might be a little bit loud downstairs. So my bad if you can hear the background. My bad. Kinda. Fuck. Screaming. Fuck. I gotta tell him to be quiet. Hold on. Sounds dramatic. Yeah. I text him. Sure, it's a movie. It's like some movie that was out in theaters. It's about some, like, this guy and this girl who get stranded on an island. They work together. They are mean to this girl, but this girl ends up like helping them survive. Diddy movie, Henry. You've probably seen the Diddy movie. But yeah, that's, you guys should know like how much I like, I don't have to be here. Like, I was just gonna watch like the rest of the movie, but nonetheless, I was like, I want to come trade with you guys. So this is where, again, like I said, ask questions, guys. Like, don't be afraid to ask questions. Like, I'm here for a reason. I'm taking time out of my day, with my family who's over right now, to ultimately help you guys. Again, like, but again, like, it's just something where it's like, take advantage of it, guys. Like, taking advantage of something isn't necessarily a bad thing. Like, this is something I've always talked about, like taking advantage of situations or opportunities you're in or you have. Because again, like, people like assume like taking advantage of something means like it's bad, like you're taking advantage of someone. No, you're taking advantage of the situation or the opportunity that you have, so you can actually learn more and actually do something with it. Again, like, I've always taken advantage of the opportunities I've had in the sense of making sure I learn as much as I can and I connect with as many people as I can. That's just taking advantage of the opportunity or situation. So that's why I tell you guys all the time, ask questions. You know, like, I'm not always going to be here. You know, I wasn't here for power hour. Granted, I wanted to be, but my alarms didn't go off. And again, I'm always going to be here, guys, like, typically. But if there's a day where it's just like, again, like, you know, I'm going to prioritize the family, this is why I want you guys to ask questions now, because if I'm not here, you won't know what to do. Maybe some of you, you know, I give you guys that, especially my students, but nonetheless, there's a lot of situations where you could be lost. Why? Because you're not asking the questions and you're looking for answers. I always say the question or the answers that you're looking for are in the questions that you are not asking. And that's something that I live by. I'm always asking questions. I'm always trying to see what I can learn, always opening up to new perspectives. Because again, like it's ultimately how you're going to grow. People know more than you guys. People know more than me. Therefore, you guys always got to be willing to ask questions and learn. Truly. But again, NASDAQ is reacting off 50%. So we'll see if price ends up ripping higher. I may just end up looking for buys if we see another opportunity here. But obviously, it's kind of a waiting game at this point. UK 100 is ripping higher off of this internal bullish structure. Let's see where Tokyo is. Okay, so we have Tokyo highs here. So it could be a good move into Tokyo highs. And again, if you guys want this indicator too, time sessions, just look up Edge Matrix sessions. Guys, I built this shit for you guys. Edge Matrix sessions, okay? Edge Matrix Pro is not out yet. But sessions is. Can you explain the volume and what makes you choose to buy? For NQ or UK 100? Kingy. NQ. So when it comes to NQ, like I'm not necessarily like keened in on buys yet. A lot of it comes to like what price is going to do off of London. The reason I'd still be interested in buys is because we're clearly trending bullish here. I just didn't want to take buys prematurely if price didn't want to go lower, and I'll explain that right now. But if price is going to continuously make new highs within this trend, I'm going to continue to trade this trend. Right? I'm going to continue to remain bullish until it's no longer bullish. But the reason I need a little bit more confirmation and the reason I kind of waited is due to the fact that within the 5-minute time frame, from a higher time frame perspective, we see that price has started to shift bearish, and that could be the overall lead or the start of a trend to facilitate this overall higher time frame pullback. Hold on, guys. Who's that? Oh, I was asking her.
Leave it here or bring it inside?
Just bring it to me. Molar buzz, and my question for today, going to the bar after your sesh. I'd like you in a buzz cut, Henry. I'd like you in a buzz cut. So we are expanding higher here. Again, we could have entered at the 50% of this leg. We truly could have. Give me a second, guys. Hold on. Wow. Sorry. So we are expanding higher. I don't want to say that I wish I entered at 50% because obviously, again, like I wanted a bit more confirmation. But nonetheless, we'll see if we get a leg higher. We'll see if we can play the new leg, continuing with the overall trend. I'm not in this trade, guys. But nonetheless, if we would have taken this trade, we don't even have liquidity too. We didn't really take any liquidity. It's something I don't like for NQ. We've already taken Tokyo highs and Tokyo lows. So I think it's more about technicals or the overall direction of price. What's good, Lormings? But we'll see. If we get a nice break of this high with some good displacement, I'm going to continue to play higher and higher. I will. And again, like I said, being that from a long-term standpoint, I'm overall expecting sells. So if we are going to continue to buy here, if we get an opportunity, just know that I'm fine taking a loss because I know I'm still trading within the trend and I'm following obviously my plan over here. But if we end up taking the loss, we know that ultimately we still had a sell bias from a higher time frame standpoint of seeing a deeper pullback, where we know that we can ultimately just step back in for sells and look to, one, make back that loss, and two, ultimately make some profits on the day. Nonetheless, obviously, I don't necessarily want to take a loss, but we'll see what happens, okay? I got long ass hair. I'm thinking, dude, I need to get a haircut bad. I was going to get a haircut when I was over at Luca's, but it was just like the worst timing. Like, I had friends coming. Don't think about even smashing my bald ass head. I wasn't even thinking about that, Henry. You're nasty. I'll be back at Luca's every now and then, but like nonetheless, no, I'm not there anymore. When he's back, though. When he's back. Like, if you guys have been noticing, he's been posting a lot more on YouTube. If you haven't, go check out Luca. Again, Luca's the beast, bro. I was getting tired of that dog. Where can I come lay with you? You're crazy. I'll never release where I live exactly. You miss his dog? A little bit. Crazy trade, Luca. Yeah, I saw that. Luca absolutely bagged out during Asia, guys. But what are you doing for our birthday, though? I don't even know, guys. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do for my birthday. I really don't. Like, I'm gonna be 22. Like, I'm still young. Like, I can fucking cars. Like, I can go out and party, but like, it's just I'm very locked in right now on one. Again, guys, like, I'm building this for you guys. Like, I'm using it all the time, but nonetheless, like, I am building this checklist and this for you guys because there's been so many people that have asked me, how do I calculate my contracts, or what contracts are you trading? This is gonna be so easy just to do it yourself. You want to risk $1,000, or you want to risk, let's say, 300. You want to trade fucking MNQ? Great, press MNQ. Your stop loss is 30 points. Boom. All you have to do is check this on. Pops up right there, and it tells you, okay, risk 5 contracts. Boom. Like, again, like, I'm so locked in on this. Like, I may just be working on this on my birthday. Yeah, I'm 22. I'm young. I'm pretty young. But I don't know what I'm gonna do, guys. Like, I really don't. Like, I may just end up chilling with some friends, maybe going out. But we'll see, you know. I just kind of let things roll. Like, whatever happens type of deal. Like, I mean, I don't got nothing to do besides, again, like, work on what I'm building for you guys. But I've been working, kid you not, countless hours, guys. Like, the entire time I was at Luca's, I was just, every second I had was dedicated to building this to you guys. Steak and lobster with the bros and the hoes. I love that. I mean, I'll probably go out to dinner or do something. Maybe go somewhere, get an Airbnb. But I have a couple things planned later where, like, I'd rather just stay at home and kind of do what I need to do now. I mean, I'll still go out, guys. You know, I'll do something, but I have nothing crazy planned. But yeah, I was gonna get an Airbnb for me and all my friends, but every time I go to an Airbnb, make sure no's in here. Every time I go to an Airbnb with my friends, I feel like I always get stuck with like the most expensive stuff. I mean, it's like, I get why I get stuck with the most expensive stuff, but like at the same time, it's like, it just makes it like you know, like I know I got it, but like nonetheless, like, doesn't necessarily mean you always rely on me, you know, like, you know. Does your fam know you trade? Yes, they do. They all know. They've all seen it since the beginning. me posting on social media. Again, like I started with like just like low followers, like not zero followers. Like I had followers, like it was like, you know, my personal page when I was in high school had a couple followers, you know, and then ultimately they just kind of saw me grow. How many tattoos do you have? I think I have 8 or 9. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I'm tweaking. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. 7. I have 7. How do I find UK100? So UK100 is not on Legacy, but we're trading NQ. So you can find NQ, you can find MNQ. All right, guys, we finally got to break this high. Nonetheless, I honestly want to see a bit more displacement. I really do before looking for a trade higher, but we'll see. Or 6. I have 7. My friend also tells me I own presence when I become profitable. Tell that motherfucker to become profitable. Ranging hard here. Yeah, I want to see some good displacement, guys. Like I want to see that price is clearly looking to expand higher. But like the one thing I don't like again is like from a higher time frame standpoint, we are actually pretty bearish. And 2, we've already taken Tokyo highs. At that point, like we don't have a lot of liquidity or a lot of targets sitting higher. We really don't. Like the only thing I could assume is like from this high to this low, we could pull back a little bit higher, and that's where I'm really kind of getting my bias from. But like I want to say like I am looking for buys at this point because we did technically break this high, but there's just not a lot of displacement. It's not a big break. It's just a very tiny, small little break. Or even the 5-minute doesn't even show that it was an actual break. It's just wicking it. So I'm gonna wait. You're on the 24th, right? Or the 22nd? Fuck you, Larming. You really said the 24th first? On the 22nd. Maybe because I already have sold. Like I want to see bearish movement too, Henry. I really do. But if we're gonna show displacement higher, we're gonna show that we want to go higher. I'm gonna trade with the trend, even if that means taking a loss and then looking for sells later. But nonetheless, I think if we're gonna continue bullish, we're gonna continue bullish. But we'll see. I'm not going to take these buys, guys. Yes, they have obviously the probabilities of them hitting due to the fact that we did break on the 1-minute. But the one thing I don't like is the 5 minutes just kind of wicking this high. The 15-minute, same thing, just kind of a wick. We ultimately did fill the rest of this imbalance within this bearish leg, and that could be a sign that price is now again just coming up, filling imbalance to flip lower to continue that overall bearish trend that we're actually trading within. Sorry, I can't talk. I don't remember mine. It's the 23rd, right? Or the 21st, one of them. There's a lot of volume it's rejecting from right now. Like, are you talking for like continuation of buys, Henry? Are you going to stay on the 1-minute? Yes. When it comes to NQ, I trade on the 1-minute. When it comes to DAX UK100, I do trade on the 5-minute. But I'm just not liking anything on DAX UK100. Maybe I'm not seeing something clearly, but nonetheless, like I'm just not like the biggest fan of continuing to buy, just because we have been buying for a while. But nonetheless, that doesn't necessarily mean that price is going to sell off. But ultimately, what did we just do? We just came up to Tokyo highs and New York highs, which is a lot of liquidity. We're seeing a nice little top wick on the 15-minute. If we do end up seeing price break these lows, I'm going to shoot for sells, guys, because not only are we taking liquidity, but we're now breaking strong, or not necessarily strong lows, but internal lows, where we can now assume that price could be looking to start the overall pullback of this entire bullish leg. So that's DAX's bias. UK100's bias, it's a little bit different. Nonetheless, I do think we will have an overextended pullback at some point. But let's see. We haven't swept Tokyo range yet. We'll see, though. As far as NQ, let's see what NQ is doing. We are about to facilitate the pullback. Again, guys, I'm not going to shoot on these buys. Okay, you guys 100% can. But I'm saying you guys can, but remember, I'm not. You know, is it worth taking it if it aligns with your system, aligns with your plan? Great. Like, I can say that this is a good setup in the sense of we've taken some decent lows here. Okay, in the sense of we broke structure. But the one thing you guys need to pay attention to is the amount of displacement we had. We barely broke highs. Yes, in a sense, on the 1 minute, we still did break them, technically speaking. But nonetheless, that little break could be an like a sign in the fact that price isn't going to continue higher. Okay, and we could see lower prices. But the one good thing is if we do end up going bearish here and we end up breaking this low here, since we technically made a high, that means that this is a strong low that we're breaking, and then we can ultimately just flip bias to sells. Again, I'd rather wait. I'm not going to take this, at least from a buying standpoint. Continuously lower right now. It is rejecting off of session PLC and Asia value lower. It is going to break that low right now. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Harry. That's why I want to wait. We're getting a lot of volume lower. I think we're going to get a break at these lows, and that's why I'd wait on these buys. And if buys play out, let's say price does end up coming back up and buys play out, I'm fine waiting. I don't need to make money. Obviously, I want to make money just like you guys do. But one, the probabilities aren't there. And two, I know if I don't take any trades today, I'm probably going to come back tomorrow and just make some money. But look, we broke these lows. That means we're no longer bullish. We took good liquidity. We had a break, so these are good lows to break. Now what am I looking for? I am looking for sells. As long as we close beneath that low. Sorry, my family's so loud. They're all downstairs. So M and Q. Let's see if we get a break of this low. If we don't, we're just waiting. Very colorful. Just like Warmings and Henry. This guy. Yeah. What? We never got to break the low, guys, so therefore it's not a bearish leg yet. We actually could still stay bullish, and the reason I could say that is because when we kind of just come down and wick these lows, if we don't close it below them, we're still playing within this range, at least from my POV, at least with my opinion and my view on the markets. Until we actually strongly, or not necessarily strongly, but close beneath the low with a full body closure, then that means we broke the low. You got something against rainbow people? Not at all. Dude, like literally like majority of the girls in my family are lesbian or gay. I don't even know what the word is. Of course I don't have anything against them. I love everyone. I got 2 trans cousins. See, I don't got any of that. But again, I love everyone. I can't judge someone just off their preferences. I can't. Like even you guys. Like I would never judge you. Like if you guys trade ICT, maybe I'll judge you a little bit. But like other than that, like I'm very unjudgmental. Like I love everyone. I literally do. It's about being positive. Except against ICT traders. And if you don't know I'm joking, okay? Like, you know. I literally trade with Chris and Mark all the time, and they're ICT guys. No. You guys know Chris is ICT trader too. I love both of them. Again, like, I talk shit on ICT because everyone talks shit on ICT. But nonetheless, yeah, I am looking for sales alive now that we broke lows. But nonetheless, at the same time, like there's ICT traders who are really good traders. And when it comes to ICT, like you guys gotta understand, like we look for the same stuff. And me and Chris actually just made a video on this for Legacy. It'll be on the Legacy YouTube. It's about how we identified and took the same setup from 2 different standpoints. He's an ICT trader. I'm more of an SMC trader. Yet we still looked at the same thing, still identified the same structure, still identified the same liquidity points, and took it. It's just the difference is the name of with the way you trade. Exactly, Henry. Exactly. What are we looking for now? Sells. So again, let's see. Obviously, from the 50%, looks like we could get it fast. It's a 10-point stop loss. So let's use this real quick to say if we want to risk, let's say we want to risk $400 today. It's a 10-point stop loss. What does it tell us? Let's check it on. 20 contracts. I'm not using ICT setup. ICT renamed everything in his fucking system to terms that were already created within trading. I'm not going to get into this, Thunder. Yeah, exactly. All right, I'm placing a limit here, guys. All right, we got tapped in. It's a lot of volume. Obviously stops at the highs, guys. I'm going to shoot here. Is this our first trade of the week? It is, right? Nick system, Nick/Diddy strat. Okay, you guys are banned. I don't like this amount of volume, guys. Nonetheless, I still have to kind of trade it because it is part of my system, and I like the break that we got. I like the fact that we took some of these highs here, but nonetheless, price could just continue higher and higher, which would be very unlikely, but nonetheless, again, like price could have its own objectives for the day. I just have to play within the probabilities of the overall trade itself. Again, I am risking 20 contracts. It told me it here as far as how much I want to risk, what my stop loss is. And again, let's kind of go through and see what's checked off and what's not. Let's see how high of a probability trade this really is. So as you can see, we have a liquidity sweep up here. Okay, we have a break of structure, we have imbalance, and we have higher time frame alignment as far as already identifying prices bearish, and we can definitely continue lower. So when it comes to this, we have higher time frame alignment, we had liquidity sweep, we had a break of structure, we had imbalance, and we had the 50% entry. So therefore, everything is solid as far as this telling me that this is the highest probability trade that I can take within my system. But again, I always tell you guys, just because it's a high probability setup doesn't necessarily mean we're going to win, but there's just a higher chance of it. Therefore, again, like this is why I love this, and this is why you guys are going to love this, because it always tells you, okay, making sure that I'm taking the highest probability setups, which again, at my level, I don't necessarily need this, but I know a lot of you guys are still learning and early on, and you're struggling with following your setup. Easy. And again, literally just use this to identify how many contracts I need to risk. It tells me I want to risk $400. It's a 10-point stop loss. It's on MNQ. I risk 20 contracts to make sure that I lose about $400. Okay, beautiful. But once we get a 101, what number is TP? So TP is on Legacy at least 25977 is my first TP, where I'll move to break even at 101. And if we end up, well, obviously I expect price to end up going past it. Once we hit 101, I move to break even, and I'll let price run to a 1 to 2. So our 1 to 2 is sitting about, let's kind of do the line. Our 1 to 2 is sitting about 25966, and that's my ultimate TP. That's where I will exit my position, at least a majority of it. If anything, I'll leave 20%. I'll take off 80%, leave 20%, and just let the rest run. Okay. But we'll see what happens. Ultimately, let's hope we get to our risk-free point, which is our 101, which is these lows, which I expect price to do. But nonetheless, we'll see what price's objective is for today. Yes, I'm in sales right now. We're pretty much about the same entry point that we entered in at. Obviously, we want to see lower prices. But if you haven't entered, you could enter with me. But we'll see what happens. Could be a win, could be a loss. Granted, beautiful setup, beautiful execution. Everything looks good. It's just a matter of, is price going to give us what we want today or is it not? Pretty simple. And then we'll play off that. That's fine as long as it works for you. I only shame Nick. I only trade IFEG. There's nothing wrong with that, guys. Like, you guys got to understand, like, there's nothing wrong with trading IFEG. Like, I will look for IFEGs to kind of see, are we clearly disrespecting these areas that price should be holding at or at least rejecting? But nonetheless, like, there's a lot of times where an IFEG can be blown through. It looks like it's going to go higher and then price comes lower. Because I think what's so important here, guys, is the overall structure of price. If price is bearish, right? And let's say, you know, we had an IFEG. Let's say we're bearish overall. And let's say we had an IFEG right here. Okay. Or let's say up here. We blow through it. So people enter buys. But if you don't realize that price is overall bearish, and this is my thing, you can trade IFEGs. There's nothing wrong with that. But still understanding the overall structure of price, I feel like will make your trading better because you know that, okay, this IFEG may not be a strong IFEG because of the fact that we're still bearish. We know that we have liquidity lower. Let's imagine we already took Tokyo highs. Therefore, that could tell us that, again, it's not necessarily worth it because we know that there's still liquidity sitting below her. We already took higher points of liquidity. We're overall bearish. So therefore, it could just end up being a deeper retracement to come lower. But obviously, I sometimes look at IFEGs when I trade New York. I do. But I still make sure that my overall higher time frame is solid. Do we take partials at 101? That's solely up to you. I don't take partials at 101. But nonetheless, there was... Okay, so we did take a trade this week. The first trade that we took this week, we ended up getting in buys, or I called it. I got off stream and it hit like 30 minutes later. I got break even. It hit 101. I could have taken partials, but I allowed myself to run to 102 at break even. It hit break even, and then it ran to 102. So obviously, if you guys want to make some money today, go ahead and, again, at 101, close partials, right? But I allow myself to run to the 1 to 2, at least for NQ, just making sure that I'm at least at break even, because at that point I can't lose anything. I'm just either going to make nothing or make money or or go to my 1 to 2. I don't use ICT. Nick's 5 minutes ago. Shut up, Henry. You are rage baiting me. What partials? What do you mean? Edge matrix indicator as checklisting. I can't see in my trading view. Please let me know. Edge matrix checklisting from right corner. Alan, so Edge matrix is it's not out yet. It's something that I'm making for you guys, but I will send you the link. Again, this is for any of you guys. I'll send you the link. There's a wait list right now. You can go ahead, sign up. You'll be able to get the free session indicator. But when it comes to the Edge Matrix like Pro, where you have a checklist that, you know, calculates your probabilities, that also allows you to have, you know, to basically calculate how many contracts you should be risking. If it's Forex or futures, again, it is waitlisted right now, but you can get the free session indicator if you get on the wait list. Just go to edgematrixhq.com. Go ahead and just put your first name, your email address, and then from there you'll get early access. And early access people will get something special when it comes to the pro release. But the reason I'm very confident in this. One, I'm building it for you guys and mainly my students, because it's going to help my students a lot. But two, again, like, everybody uses indicators. I know you guys use session indicators. You guys may have a checklist off to the side. I just made it easy for you guys. I will in the future also have session highs and lows, or not necessarily session highs and lows, but like swing highs and lows that identifies your high and low point. So you always know how to draw your fib correctly. You know that the arrow that's pointing at the high is your high. You know the arrow pointing at your low is your low. And you just kind of go based off that. Just kind of making trading easier for you guys. Trading can be hard because a lot of you guys, again, like, the biggest thing, and a lot of this, again, this all comes from data. Like, me building this and actually following through with this is from data. I've worked with so many students in the past where I have a general idea of where most people's struggles and problems come from. It is, one, following a plan and having a plan. Two, understanding risk and how to calculate sizing, and that's what I've built here with my checklist. And two, the session indicators. I think that's important. Also, session highs and swing highs and lows, understanding what the true high is and what the true low is. And again, there's going to be a bunch of stuff that can come to you guys. Obviously, I take community opinion too. I love when my community gives me insights or what they would want to see, you know. How do I take partials in legacy? So let's say we're in sells here. Let's say price gets down to here. I would just, so this is the bracket order. I like using the bracket order. If you want to use the bracket order, next to chart type, you'll see this down arrow. Press that down arrow, press trade bar, and this will open up. So what I do when I use the trade bar is, since I entered 20 contracts, I would obviously lessen the amount of contracts I want to close. Let's say I wanted to close 15 contracts. I'm obviously not going to do that, but I'll just close one for you. Okay, I'll close one. Let's say I want to close one contract. We got in sells, right? That means I would want to buy back one of those contracts. So I would end up buying back. And as you can see, I closed the contract. I made $3 because we're still at a break even point, and my entry went down to 19 instead of 20. Obviously, if we're in buys, you would want to sell contracts, but make sure when you are taking partials. So you see how my entry is now 19 contracts because I closed one. My stop loss is still 20 contracts, meaning I need to go and edit it, modify it, to make sure that I'm not getting put into a buy position. Because if I would have left it at 20, when price came up here, it would have entered me into a buy position. It would have closed the 19 sell contracts, but there would have been one extra contract and it would have put me in buys. And that's something you guys got to make sure you're not getting, caught into. Are we in trade on MQ? Yes, I'm in sells right now. We'll see what's going to happen. We're seeing some nice rejection, but we're still seeing higher prices here. We haven't made it to 101. We got decently close to our 101, but nonetheless, still not at our 101, still not at break even. We'll see. How do you do it that fast when price is moving quick? That's a lot of clicking and typing. What do you mean? like for taking partials? Optic. Can I ask why Luca's not live streaming on Legacy account? Because he's traveling right now. So he'll be live, back live at, what's it called? Next week. Yeah, like US 30 New York Open. Like when it comes to closing partials, price can fly fast as fuck. You barely got time to click. That's why you should be ready. That's why you should have a management plan. Like telling you, okay, at this certain point, I'm going to take partials. Because again, if you, like, let's say I know at 1-to-1, let's say I already know in my mind I'm going to take 5 contracts off. So therefore, as soon as price gets to this level, all you have to do is press buy if you're in a sell. And you would press sell if you're in a buy. Okay. It's not too long. Like again, if you're already ready, I'm ready to close 5 contracts at this point, boom, all you have to do is click a button, it closes those contracts. Nothing more, nothing less, right? But obviously, when it comes to changing the stop loss, yeah, that can take time to modify it, but nonetheless, again, like you should still be fine. Or if price is just getting close to your stop loss, you can just flatten all up here. Talking about Mambas trading, again, you just got to be on it. Like even if you're not using trade bar and you're using the sell and buy button over here, it's pretty easy. You know, you would just say, I want to close 5 contracts. You change it to 5 real quick, press sell or buy, you know, boom, simple. But we just reacted off of this fair value gap here. Let's see if price does end up taking down. This is our last line of hope. I obviously assume price is going to come down here. We have a 100% trade score probability, meaning, again, this is our best trade that we could have taken. But again, like I even have a video for you guys. I have a video on my YouTube channel if you guys want to go check that out. It's Niicksfx on YouTube. And this video basically goes over that just because you have a high probability setup doesn't mean you're always guaranteed to win. That's why risk management is so important. I'm actually going to drop another video on risk management here soon because I want you guys to understand, again, risk management is one of the most important things. Obviously, there's a lot of other important aspects, but risk management is one of the biggest, right? Again, in this case where I have a very high probability trade, let's say I don't care about risk management. I probably would have over risked because it's a good trade. If it loses, I would have lost a shit ton of money because I don't understand risk management and I don't understand how probabilities work. If you understand how probabilities work and know that there's still a chance of you losing, even if you're at a high probability trade, because again, it's probabilities, it's not a guarantee. And 2, if that does happen, that's why you always want to have your risk in check because you don't want to lose an unnecessary amount due to the fact that you impulsively entered a high, contract trade or you put a lot of contracts on that trade. Because again, there was one situation last week where our first trade was a loss. We lost our first trade, but price still stayed valid within the structure. We ended up taking another position and we ended up making profits on the day. But that wouldn't have happened if I didn't risk correctly because the first trade, we only lost like $400. I risked the same amount in the second trade. And since we hit a 1-to-2 and we understand how RR works, we ended up making $800, right? Covered our losses, still made $400. Beautiful, right? But nonetheless, a lot of you guys struggle with that because you guys don't understand that that's super important. And one, making sure you're risking the same amount. And if you up your risk or, lower your risk, it should be based off good reasoning. But again, that can actually hurt you too, just because of the fact that if you lower your risk one trade, let's say we lost this trade, we lost $400. If I were to go and lower my stop or like lower my risk, per trade after this, I would be kind of not necessarily struggling to get it back up, but it'd be a lot more difficult to get it back up. Because again, if I risk 400 here, we lost 400. If I'm going for 1-to-1s and I risk 200 the next trade, I'll only make $200. So that means I have to have 2 winners or at least a 1-to-2 to make it back. And it's not good. It's just not good long term. We're getting a lot of bullish volume here. Not what I like to see. If we honestly come back and break highs, I can't say that it wasn't necessarily expected because again, like we know that we can definitely come higher within this overall bearish move from like this high to this low and seeing that price still needs to facilitate a pullback into 50%. But nonetheless, we did have an attempt at that. We kind of took these highs, showed displacement lower, and that gave me the sign that I needed to overall take sales back down into some type of low. Could have been this liquidity, could have been this liquidity, but we'll see what happens. This could have just been fuel for price to now take liquidity of these lows to then push right back up and make some type of new bullish trend. Okay. But nonetheless, only time will tell at this point. We'll see what price does. I believe I'm still in it. Yes, we're still in it. If price creates a bottom wick here, we lost. I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. We lost. But nonetheless, I can't be mad. Thank you, Optic. Yeah, just wait. Again, like you guys, obviously, you know, if I'm going to enter a trade, I can say you guys should enter a trade, but you don't have to. Again, like if you guys are just coming in here to learn and kind of get a grasp of what I do and how I look at things, that's all you need to be doing. Honestly, I say that's better than coming in here and I obviously trade with me, but nonetheless relying on me, right? If you guys are relying on me, that's where there's a problem. And it's not that it's a bad thing, but it's just the fact of the matter is your goal should be, I want to be my own trader. So your goal should be go learn, take information from other people and apply it on your own, get data and start progressively learning how to do things yourself. Okay. Again, still tune into the stream, still say what's up, still get a perspective on things because it's still nice to always have a open-minded, to always be an open-minded person because someone else's perspective could change your perspective that could ultimately help you later on down the line. Obviously, it can go both ways. Someone else's perspective could hurt your own perspective and make you do something you shouldn't be doing. But nonetheless, that's where it comes down to personal judgment. Okay, we're about to get wicked out. I'm surprised we're not out yet, to be honest. Are you a volume breakout trader like Mama M or a different system? It's different, Optic. I don't really trade breakouts. I hardly do now. I just kind of mainly rely on structure and I guess you could say smart money concepts. Identifying liquidity sweeps, right? And identifying structure and points of interest like premium and discount. But I mainly trade in the sense of like I'll always look to higher time frame price to kind of get an idea of what things are looking like. So let's say we're bullish on the hourly. Okay. I'll then look and I understand how price moves and price moves in waves. We all know that. But if price is bullish and has been bullish for a while in the hourly and we start seeing lower time frames start trending bearish internally, we can ultimately assume that price is now facilitating a pullback of the hourly leg into a discounted price. Because again, institutions and banks are going to push price to a higher price to then sell it off at a higher price, but it'll push into discount. From there, it's cheaper to buy it back up, right? And that's why we will move in this, wave-like pattern because it's just a game. It's just a fucking game, guys. It's about understanding it. But the thing with the game, even understanding it, like, look, we're about to take a loss. Even with understanding the game, you're not always necessarily guaranteed to win. But what a fucking wick. I didn't get taken out. Why did I not get taken out? What the fuck? Yeah, I'm in a cell, Cray. But, I mean, we should have been taken out. I mean, I'm not going to complain. We're not seeing that on TradingView, so I don't know if that was just a visual glitch or what. But that wick was only on M and Q. I know, weird. It's like we needed liquidity of the high. But going back to what I was saying is even in understanding like what I would consider the core fundamental like aspects of trading, like understanding price action, understanding multi-time frame analysis, understanding how to read price from a higher time frame standpoint and breaking it down to a lower time frame standpoint. I know I'm not always going to win. But I know if I have everything else in check, risk management, I understand RR and going for a higher RR than what my losers typically are, I know that at the end of the day, from a long-term standpoint, I'll make money because I know that, again, if I'm sticking to the same thing every day, even if I have more losers than winners, because I understand going for a higher RR, I'll still make money. Obviously, that's not the case. I typically have more winners than losers. But nonetheless, again, that's what sold me on trading is the fact that you guys can come into here, ultimately lose more than you win and still make money every single month. But it's just about understanding the game and it's about understanding RR. It's about understanding risk management. So more structure oriented, 100% Optic. 100%. Whereas M and Momber more volume support resistance. Yeah, that's more them. But again, to each their own. Again, like you can trade any system and make money. But my biggest, okay, we're out of the trade finally. But my biggest thing is, one, there's so many systems that work. Two, there's not a holy grail system. There will never be a 100% win rate system. Again, We had a nice trade earlier in the week. I got out of break even because that's what my management plan kind of forced me to do. Second trade of the week, we lost. But nonetheless, again, I know if I continue to take the same trades, continue with the same risk throughout the entire week, we'll just make it back. We will. So you should only, I always recommend that optic. That's the first thing I tell my students when I start working with them is if you guys are trading with multiple people and don't just, did I get filled that fucking hard? Hold on. I'm going to come back to you. Exactly, Thunder. I just realized that shit. We were edging our fucking highs right here, and it was $370. Wow. What a fucking... Wow. And we're just dumping right back off. I just think we had a lot of volume step in right there. Yeah. We just had a lot of volume step in right there. We got hit with slippage. You guys got to remember that even happens on live accounts and shit too. We just pushed that area way too fast. I know, right, Henry? But nonetheless, someone asked, am I taking another trade? I don't know yet. I still have an hour 20 to trade. If price is going to continue higher, I would most likely play the new bullish range that was created within here. But nonetheless, again, like we attempted to break highs, we broke lows. We're now coming back up, breaking and making new highs potentially. From there on out, again, like I could assume that price is now picking its direction, but I'm almost kind of anticipating that we're going to see some chop and we may just kind of not move where it may not be worth taking a trade. I'm fine taking a loss. We had a very nice trade early in the week where I know, or I hope some of you guys profited from. Again, I'm fully transparent. I got out at break even after my management plan took me out of break even, but today was a loss. We have tomorrow. Was it Wednesday? Today's Wednesday. We have Thursday, Friday. So we have 2 more days, right? We have 2 more days to trade. All we need is a nice little 1 or 2, bring us back into profits for the week. Other than the fact that we absolutely got fucked with slippage and I lost $186 more than I anticipated to lose. This should have been a $400 loss. Price just hit us with slippage. Sucks. It is what it is. Kind of got to live with it, but we'll make it back. What's up, Louis? But guys, again, I can't be mad. It was a loss today, but nonetheless, be back tomorrow, guys. I'm going to take the same exact trade tomorrow. I'm going to do the same exact thing. Look for my win rate or look for high probability trades. MQ have 2 upside wicks. NQ only 1. That's... I was going to say something right now. Wow. Okay. See, NAS 100 looks a little different too. Either way, it was a loss. Price did end up coming higher. With that being said, guys, if you guys are interested in this, my checklist, again, you can fully customize it. You can put fair value gaps. You can put ICT stuff in there, whatever you want. Breakouts, stuff like that. You can fully customize it. You can fully customize the colors. As you can see, like mine just kind of transparent to the background. And another thing is, again, it tells you your position sizing. We knew to risk 20 contracts today for $400 risk at a 10-point stop loss. Super simple to use, super easy. If you guys are interested, DM, or not DM, message in the general chat right here. Just say sessions. I'll send you over the wait list if you guys are interested. It'll just kind of help you out. I have a lot of friends using it. You guys will probably end up seeing Mark and Chris using it as well. Just because, again, like they themselves, I think they'll like it. And again, like this is something ultimately help you guys at the end of the day, truly. Like we don't need it, but nonetheless, it helps. So what about DAX and UK100? Let's peep it before I leave. DAX swept these highs, kind of came bearish after. I do think price may continue bearish. If we end up breaking these lows and having a pullback, I will take sells. UK100, not really looking at anything right now. Nah, don't tell me it's sold back off. What the fuck? Why couldn't it have done that earlier? Why couldn't it have done that earlier? There's no news. Trump, something happened in the world. We've been seeing this way too much. Something happened in the world. I mean, it was only 20 points, but something happened. Everyone gets stopped out. Wow. Guys, continue to watch NQ. I have a feeling if we end up going higher here, it won't be for much longer unless this is some type of fundamental influence candle and we do end up pumping higher. But I generally think that we won't come a lot higher and we're going to continue to sell off. And the reason I talk about that is because that's ultimately really, really good data and telling me the directional bias was correct as far as expecting sells, but we were just too early. And again, we can never tell when we're too early until we're too early. But nonetheless, there's always things that I like to observe within my own trading. Even though I make money, I still am staying very, very keened in on data due to the fact that, again, anything could change, right? We saw how March impacted the markets. We all saw that. It wasn't just me, but that was very good data because if something ever happens like that again, even if something similar to that, I know not necessarily what to expect, but based off what happens, that'll ultimately add to the data that I already have when there was an active war going on, right? Henry, fuck you. It's because of ICT comment. Guys, I don't hate on ICT traders, okay? Like, I literally made this customizable so the ICT traders can add a fucking fair value gap here. See, look, you can add a fair value gap for the ICT traders. You can change all of these, okay? You can add a Henry. If Henry's not here, guys, we're not trading, okay? See, Henry was here, though, so that just means he fucking made us lose. Chris, this your longest stay. I'm not Chris. I don't know if he's trolling or not. That's crazy. But guys, you guys are awesome. I'm out of here. Yes, it was a losing day. Next I'm gonna get that. Henry, I might give it to you for free to test it out for me, and you let me know what it is or how it is. That being said, guys, you guys are awesome. I know it was a losing day, but nonetheless, be back tomorrow. Again, like, I don't care. You guys shouldn't care either. Again, like, if you guys are trying to be traders long term and actually make a living out of it, start to not care. We lose, that's fine. We're never always going to win. We come back tomorrow, we win, great. We make some profits, boom, bam, pow. That being said, yes, I'll be there at power hour tomorrow, Julio. Don't worry, I'll make sure my alarm goes off. Hopefully, I'll be there. That being said, you guys are awesome. See you guys tomorrow at power hour. I'm out of here. Again, message the words session if you guys want access to the checklist and the contract calculator. Later, guys. Later, YouTube.